Transistor at high frequencies, part 2. The hybrid pi model. The hybrid pi model of the transistor formulated by Giacoletto is valid for both high and low frequencies. Its versatility ensures its application in both linear and digital circuits. This lecture discusses the formulation of the model and its various components. The basic assumption in arriving at a transistor linear model or equivalent circuit is that the variations about the quiescent point are assumed small, so that the transistor parameters can be considered constant over the signal excursion. The operating or quiescent values of the current and voltages are determined by the method employed to bias the transistor. These values do not enter into an incremental model, which is used only to find small signal variations about the Q point. The transistor model presented here is given in terms of H parameters, which are real numbers at audio frequencies. They are easy to measure and can also be obtained from the transistor static characteristic curves. They are particularly convenient to use in circuit analysis and design. Furthermore, a set of H parameters is specified for many transistors by the manufacturers. To see how we can derive a hybrid model for a transistor, let us consider the common emitter connection shown in the figure on the right. IB, IC, VB and VC represent total instantaneous currents and voltages. IB represents the change in base current, that is delta IB. IC represents the change in collector current, delta IC. VB represents the change in base voltage, delta VB. VC represents the change in collector voltage, delta VC. We can select IB and VC as independent variables. Now VB as a function of IB and VC is given by F1 IB VC. And IC is another function of IB and VC given by F2 IB VC. We may write VB is equal to F1 IB VC, IC is equal to F2 IB VC. Using Taylor series expansion, delta VB is equal to delta F1 by delta IB at VC equal to 0 into delta IB plus delta F1 by delta VC, IB equal to 0 into delta VC. Similarly, delta IC is equal to delta F2 upon delta IB, VC equal to 0 delta IB plus delta F2 by delta VC, IB equal to 0 delta VC. Partial derivatives are taken keeping VC or IB constant as indicated. The quantities delta VB, delta VC, delta IB, delta IC represent small signal base and collector voltages and currents. According to the notation, delta V subscript capital B can now be represented as V subscript small b, and so can the remaining quantities. So equations C and D become VB equal to HIE IB plus HRE VC. This is equation E. And IC becomes equal to HFE IB plus HOE VC. This is equation F. So HIE is equal to delta F1 by delta IB, which is equal to delta VB by delta IB at constant VC. HRE is equal to delta F1 by delta VC equal to delta VB by delta VC at constant IB. HFE is equal to delta F2 by delta IB, which is equal to delta VB by delta IB at constant VC. HOE is equal to delta F2 by delta VC, which is equal to delta VB by delta VC IB, remaining constant. These partial derivatives define the H parameters for the common emitter connection. Equations E and F are exactly of the same form as A and B. So V1, which was equal to H11 I1 plus H12 V2, and I2, which was equal to H21 I1 and H22 V2, can now be represented by the figure which is given on the right hand side. Please remember that the transistor is a three-legged entity. It has three leads. So one lead is going to be common to both input and output. In this case, the emitter lead is common to both input and output. So this figure represents the hybrid small signal model for a common emitter connection. We now come to the hybrid pi common emitter transistor model. As you can see, the actual base is not connected to the external base lead, and there is a base spreading resistance RBB dash between the output base lead and the input base actual. RB dash E is the resistance which exists between the actual base and the emitter, and next to it is the emitter junction capacitance CE. Connected between the base and the collector, we will have a capacitance CB-C and a resistive effect RB-C. In the output, we have RCE as a conductance and GMVB-E as a current generator. The hybrid pi common emitter transistor model. At low frequencies, it is assumed the transistor responds instantaneously to changes of input voltage or current. Analysis of circuits using this hybrid pi model gives excellent agreement with experiment at all frequencies, for which the transistor gives reasonable amplification. Furthermore, resistive components in this circuit can be obtained from the low frequency H parameters. All parameters, that is resistances and capacitances in this model, are assumed to be independent of frequency. Now we come to a discussion of the circuit components. The internal node B' is not physically accessible. The ohmic base spreading resistance RBB' is represented as a lumped parameter between the external base terminal and B'. A lumped network is one in which the physically separate resistors, inductors and capacitors can be represented. For small changes in the voltage VB'(E) across the emitter junction, the excess minority carrier concentration injected into the base is proportional to VB'(E). This effect accounts for the current generator GMVB'(E). The increase in minority carriers in the base results in increased recombination base current, and this effect is taken into account by inserting a conductance GB'(E) between B' and E. The excess minority carrier storage in the base is accounted for by the diffusion capacitance CE connected between B' and E. The early effect indicates that the varying voltage across the collector to emitter junction results in a base width modulation. A change in the base width causes the emitter and hence the collector current to change because the slope of the minority carrier distribution in the base changes. This feedback effect between output and input is taken into account by connecting GB'(C) between B' and C. A conductance between C and E is GCE, and the collector junction barrier capacitance is indicated by CC. This table indicates typical hybrid pi parameter values. GM is 50 milliamperes per volt, RC is 80K, RBB' is around 100 ohm, CE is equal to 100 picofarad, CC is equal to 3 picofarad, RB'(C) is 4 mega ohm, and RB'(E) is 1 kilo ohm. The early effect of the base width modulation. The width W of the depletion region of a diode increases with the magnitude of the reverse voltage. Since the emitter junction is forward biased but the collector junction is reverse biased in the active region, then barrier width at J is negligible compared with the space charge region width W at JC. As the voltage applied across the junction increases, the transition region penetrates deeper into the collector and base. This slide shows the potential variation through a PNP transistor. The space charge with W at the collector junction increases and hence effective base width WB' decreases with increasing VCB. It is important because neutrality of the charge must be maintained. The number of uncovered charges on each side remains equal. Since the doping in the base is substantially smaller than that of the collector, the penetration of the transition region into the base is much larger than that into the collector. Hence, the collector depletion region is. If the metallurgical base width is WB, then the effective electrical base width is WB' equal to WB minus W. This modulation of the effective base width by the collector voltage is known as the early effect. The decrease in WB' with increasing reverse collector voltage has three consequences. There is a less chance for recombination within the base region. Hence, the transistor alpha increases with increasing collector base voltage. The concentration gradient of minority carriers is increased within the base. It becomes zero at a distance T between WB' and W, where the potential with respect to the base falls below V0. At this distance, the effective applied potential becomes negative and the law of the junction Pn bracket 0 is equal to Pn subscript 0 e to the V by Vt yields Pn equal to 0. Since the whole current injected across the emitter is proportional to the gradient of Pn at Je, then IE increases with increasing reverse collector voltage. Third, for extremely large voltages, WB' may be reduced to 0, causing the voltage breakdown in the transistor. This is known as the phenomena of punch-through. The early effect indicates that the varying voltages across the collector to emitter junction result in base width modulation. A change in the effective base width causes the emitter and hence the collector current to change because the slope of the minority carrier distribution in the base changes. This feedback effect between the output and input is taken into account by connecting GB-C between B- and C. The conductance between C and E is GCE. We now carry out a calculation of the transistor transconductance GM. For a time varying signal, the collector is shorted to emitter. In the active region, the collector current is given by IC is equal to ICO minus alpha O IE. If you refer to the diagram, the hybrid pi model, the short circuit current is GM-VB-E. The transconductance GM is defined by GM is equal to delta IC upon delta VB-E at VC constant, which is equal to minus alpha O delta IE upon delta VB-E, which is equal to alpha O delta IE upon delta VE, since VB-E and VE are of the same magnitude but opposite polarities. Alpha O has been assumed independent of VE. For a PNP transistor, VE is equal to minus VB-E. If the emitter diode resistance is Re, then Re is equal to dVe upon dIe. Hence, GM is equal to alpha O upon Re. The dynamic forward resistance of a forward bias diode is given by Vt upon IE. Vt is equal to Kt upon Q. It is known as the volt equivalent of temperature. Hence, GM is equal to alpha O IE upon Vt, which is equal to ICO minus IC upon Vt. For a PNP transistor, IC is negative, but for an NPN transistor, IC is positive. But in that case, VE is going to be equal to plus VB-E, leading to GM equal to IC minus ICO upon VT. Hence, for either type of transistor, GM is positive. Since IC magnitude is much larger than the magnitude of ICO, GM comes out to be equal to just the magnitude of IC divided by the volt equivalent of temperature, VT. Typical values of GM are as follows. The volt equivalent of temperature is given by the temperature in absolute scale divided by 11,600. Normally at room temperature, GM is equal to IC in milliamperes divided by 26. So if you have the collector current IC in milliamperes as 1.3, then GM in mhos comes out to be equal to 0.05 or equal to 50 milliampere per volt. But at 10 milliamperes of collector current, GM comes out to be 400 mhos. So GM is directly proportional to the current and inversely proportional to temperature. In the hybrid pi model valid at low frequencies, all capacitances are neglected. The second figure shows the representation of the same transistor using H parameter equivalent circuit. From the component values, we know that RB-C is equal to 4 megohm and RB-E is equal to 1 kilo. RB-C is equal to 4M, so it is much larger than RB-E, which is equal to 1K. Since current always takes path of least resistance, then VB-E is going to be equal to IB RB-E because the base current is going to flow across the base spreading resistance, and instead of going on to RB-C, it will just flow through RB-E and go back. The short circuit collector current IC similarly is given by GM-VB-E. It will not go through RB-C. The short circuit current gain is defined by HFE equal to IC upon IB at constant VC, which is given by GM RB-E. So RB-E becomes equal to HFE upon GM, which is equal to VT upon IC on substitution of the value of GM into HFE. So GB-E is equal to GM upon HFE if we take the reciprocal of the above expression. Note that over the range of currents for which HFE remains fairly constant, then RB-E is directly proportional to the temperature and inversely proportional to the current. At both very low and very high currents, HFE decreases. The feedback conductance GB-C is calculated as follows. HRE is equal to delta VB upon delta VC at IB equal to 0. With input open, that is IB equal to 0, HRE is defined as the reverse voltage gain, and it is equal to VB-E upon VC, which is equal to RB-E upon RB-E plus RB-C. Taking RB-E plus RB-C onto the left hand side, we get HRE RB-E plus HRE RB-C equal to RB-E. Taking all the components RB-E, all the coefficients of RB-E together, we will get HRE minus 1 within brackets, RB-E equal to minus HRE RB-C. So 1 minus HRE RB-C is going to be equal to HRE RB-C. Since HRE is very much less than 1 because the base voltage is always much less than the collector voltage, RB-E is equal to HRE RB-C. Therefore, inverting or taking the reciprocal of this relationship, we will get GB dash C equal to HRE GB dash E. So HRE comes out to be equal to approximately 10 to the power minus 4. And we have also verified that RB dash E is very much less than RB dash C. The input resistance with output short is HI. With output short, RB-E will come in parallel with RB-C. Now, since RB-E is very much less than RB-C, a parallel combination of both these resistances will approximately be just equal to RB-E. So, HI is going to be equal to the sum of RBB- and RB-E, which is equal to RBB- plus HFE VT upon IC, which is approximately equal to HFE VT upon IC. Hence, the short circuit input impedance is HIE given by HFE VT upon IC. With input open, the output conductance is defined as HOE. For IB equal to 0, we have IC equal to VC upon RC plus VC upon RB dash C plus RB dash E plus GM VB dash E. With IB equal to 0, HRE is equal to VB dash E upon VC given by RB dash E upon RB dash E plus RB dash C. HOE will become equal to IC upon VC, which is equal to 1 upon RC plus 1 upon RB dash C plus GM HRE. Since RB dash E is very much less than RB dash C, we will see in the next. We get HOE equal to GC plus GB dash C plus HFE GB dash E HRE, which is equal to GC plus GB dash C plus HFE GB dash E GB dash C upon GB dash E. The GB dash E cancel mutually in the numerator and denominator, and we are left with GCE plus GB-C plus HFE GB-C. Gathering the terms of GB-C together, we will get GCE plus GB-C in brackets 1 plus HFE. Therefore, GCE will become equal to HOE minus GB-C 1 plus HFE. Since HFE is very much larger than 1, we will get GCE equal to HOE minus GB-C HFE, and using the relationship, we will get GC equal to HOE plus GM HRE. The common emitter H parameters at low frequencies known at a given collector current. The conductances or resistances in the hybrid pi circuit are calculable from the following 5 equations in the order given. Gm is equal to the magnitude of IC upon the volt equivalent of temperature Vt. RB-E is equal to HFE upon Gm, which is also equal to Vt upon IC HFE, or GB-E will be equal to Gm upon HFE. RBB- is given by HIE plus RB-E, GB-C is equal to HRE GB-E, and GC is equal to HOE minus GB-C 1 plus HFE. Next, we come to the calculation of the hybrid pi capacitances. The capacitive effects can be neglected at low frequencies, but at high frequencies, they play a significant role. The hybrid pi model for a transistor includes generally two capacitances: the collector junction capacitance CC, which is equal to CB-C. It is the common base output capacitance with input open, that is I is equal to 0, and it is usually specified by manufacturers as COB. The capacitance CE represents the sum of the emitter diffusion capacitance CTE and the emitter junction capacitance CTE. For a forward biased emitter junction, CD is generally much larger than CTE, so we can effectively say that CE is just equal to CDE. CD is proportional to the emitter bias current IE, and it is almost independent of temperature. The diffusion capacitance. The figure represents the injected hole concentration versus distance in the base region of the transistor. The base bit W is assumed to be small compared with the diffusion length LB of the minority carriers. Since the collector is reverse biased, the injected charge concentration P prime at the collector junction is essentially 0. If W is very much less than LB, then P prime varies almost linearly from the value P prime 0 at the emitter to 0 at the collector. The stored base charge QB is the average concentration given by P0 prime upon 2 times the volume of the base, which is WA, times Q, the electronic charge, where A is the area of cross section and W the width of the base. That is, QB is equal to half P prime 0 AWQ. The diffusion current I is equal to minus AQ dB dP prime by dx, which is equal to AQ dB P prime 0 upon W. dB represents the diffusion constant for minority carriers in the base. QB is equal to half P prime 0 AWQ. P prime 0 is equal to 2 QB upon AWQ. I is equal to AQ dB 2 QB upon AWQ 1 upon W. Therefore, QB is equal to IW square upon 2 dB. The static emitter diffusion capacitance CD is equal to dQB by dV, which is equal to W square upon 2 dB di upon dV, which is equal to W square upon 2 dB 1 upon Re, where Re is equal to dV upon di, which is equal to Vt upon IE. It is the emitter junction incremental resistance. Continuing, CD is equal to W square upon 2 dB IE upon Vt, which is equal to GmW square upon 2 dB. This indicates that the diffusion capacitance is proportional to the emitter bias current, i.e. experimentally C is determined from a measurement of Ft, the frequency at which the short circuit current gain drops to unity. It can be verified that C is approximately equal to Gm upon twice pi Ft. The hybrid pi model is valid for frequencies up to Ft by 3.